You're not where you want to be, but you're exactly where you need to be. And the reason being is simply because there's still lessons to be learned. And I say this from a position of exactly that. So way back when, maybe 5-6 years ago, I thought that at this point in time, my life would be completely different. Business that I wanted, I'd have the money coming in, I'd be doing all these great things, I would be married, kids, ideally, looking for a home and all this stuff. But the reality is, the reason I'm not there is because I haven't learned the lessons it takes to become the person that can actually manage all of that. I don't know what your situation necessarily looks like. Your situation might be completely different from mine, but the principle is still the same, that in order to obtain certain things in life, in order to obtain certain positions in life, there are lessons that need to be learned, there are skills that need to be developed, there's a character that needs to be in place, and there's just an ecosystem that needs to be established so that everything can just flow and everything can be managed accordingly. And so what exactly does it take to learn that lesson? It takes a lot of reflection. In my experience, it takes some sort of prayer, some sort of external insight. And it also takes being open, being transparent about some of the things that are happening or that have happened, and just being able to see it and accept it rather than feel it again, rather than just dismissing it or acting as if it never happened or didn't happen, because our mind will understand and perceive things differently because it knows that it happened, even if we tell ourselves that it didn't. And the way that I've gone about developing the habit of being able to actually reflect or knowing what to reflect on is by focusing on 5 pillars. First one being physical, so reflecting on how exactly am I taking care of my body? Am I actually taking care of my body? And that's as simple as eating right, moving right, and sleeping right. And so making sure that that foundation is established and that you're dialing that in as much as possible. So going to sleep on time, waking up at a good hour early doesn't necessarily equate to better, but intention is what's more important. So it's just making sure you're waking up with intention, and whatever hour it is, as long as it's also not too late in the day and you're not staying up too late, because then that leads into not taking care of your body, because your body is meant to be on a natural clock, but our current lifestyles do not support that. But being able to at least control what you can control is what's most important. And then from there also, what is it you're putting into your body? Foods, drinks, these days air, and then a bunch of other intricacies, which I typically go more in depth in the 77 challenge, which is specifically meant to fast track you into becoming the person it is you need to become. But it's also ultimately the person that you've been wanting to become. You just don't know how, or you just haven't gotten there. Why? Because you haven't learned the lesson, or you haven't developed the skill of being able to reflect, or the skill of being able to adapt based on circumstance or based on what's happened. And so it's very much a more guided approach to fast track you into the season, or more so into the person that you're looking to become, and from the season that you're currently in. That's the 77 challenge. That's the 77 community. So if that's something that you're looking to do because you're tired of being the same, you're tired of repeating the same patterns, repeating the same cycle, it's time to break it, and this is exactly for that. Now, for those of you who aren't looking to accelerate, maybe you're okay with where you're at, but there's just something that feels like it's lacking, there's something more that you're looking for, I put together the 77 Club, specifically for individuals like you who aren't looking to fast track, or maybe are unsure if that's even for them. Maybe there's some sort of self-doubt, some limiting beliefs. I put this community together specifically for you, so that you can be surrounded by people who are actively pursuing after something, who are doing great things and aiming for greater things, but aren't necessarily looking to fast track, or at least have some aspect of it figured out. I built this specifically because I've had to do a lot of this on my own. It's one of the worst things that you could possibly do, and it's not sustainable. We were meant to be social, we were meant to connect, we were meant to be within some sort of community, and this is exactly what that's for. And so you don't have to do this alone anymore. You don't have to figure it out. One of the other lessons that I've actually learned is that not necessarily just community, but just being able to rely on someone or rely on a group of people gives you the ability to actually go further, go faster, especially if you're doing it by yourself, because you're not doing it from a place of the unknown. You're doing it from a place of able to access knowledge and understanding. And that's actually super, super important when it comes to your journey. So I'm starting to be a little bit more long-winded, but ultimately one of these two communities is exactly what you need. in order to be able to push past your current circumstance and be able to actually get out of the season you're in that you've been in for way too long. And if you've stuck around this long into the video, that shows that you're actually pursuing after something. You're maybe not sure what it is, but I'm telling you right now, one of these communities is going to help you get that breakthrough. So that's that. Regardless of what it is that you're working on, what it is you're working towards, you have to take the time, or not take the time, you have to make the time to reflect, to dwell on the lessons that have ultimately been repeating themselves, or the opportunities have been repeating themselves, so that you learn this, because the faster you learn this, the sooner you get out of your season, and the faster you actually get to where it is that you're looking to go. But right now, take the time, 2-3 minutes, to just figure out what it is that you have not been learning. Write it down, and then do your best to stick to it. Stick to whatever needs to change. And I challenge you to do that within the next 70 days, or for 70 days straight. So that's the only way you can rewire it. I go more in depth into that in the 77 challenge community. And I give a little bit more insight as to how to go about that, or some other ways you can do that within the 77 Club. So I'll see you in one of those two. Be sure to subscribe, and let's do great things. Remember to be better, do better, live better. Keep striving for better. Keep doing great things. I believe in you. I want to see you win, and more importantly, I want to be a part of your journey to help you win. You're not in this alone. You have support. And if you feel like you don't, then you have to join. You have to find it. All right? Keep doing great things. God bless.